Cross in that Purex Racing Porsche. Load of traffic in front of him, traffic everywhere. It doesn't matter where you seem to look. We've got 53 cars registering a lap time and 57 cars on track.
That's Tim Heinemann going up towards the timing line in the car that Rolf Ineiken put in the gravel in the earlier session. Joseph Loke was in strife in session 1 without a wheel at the first chicane, and although that car has gone out, it's not yet done a lap time. Thomas Priming's Porsche likewise. We never got to the bottom of number 80's travails in the first session, did we, with the line speed car? That stopped on track and had to be brought back, so Thomas Priming now having his first laps of the day. That's not yet done a lap time, nor is Daniele Diamato's Audi, nor Marco Mappelli's Lamborghini, the Rutronic car. So there are still things to look at, still things to slot into the plot as the session unwinds. There is Nicholas Nielsen.
So the 59, I was just looking at some of the penalties. So they actually got given a €1,000 fine, and they're only allowed to enter the track for free practice 10 minutes after the start.
Okay. And is that for the unsafe release with the wheel dropping off? So although the car had a wheel come off, the stewards have decided it was an unsafe release, because if you send a car into the session with a wheel that's not done up, then it's not safe. It's not just an unsafe release if you put it to the path of another car. It can be in a situation like that. So that's the penalty. So they've got to sit out the first part of the session, and now the car should be on track.
Exactly the same penalty for the 80 as well. So that's why that car stopped, and we didn't see the wheel off. Exactly the same penalty for them.
Right, in a way that's good news, because we were fearing it was power steering again, which they've had twice this year. So the fact that it was finger trouble on the wheel, that's frustrating, but at least it's not perhaps quite so annoying as it could have been.
On board here with Nielsen, and a lot of these drivers now jumping between GT3 machinery and hypercar machinery, and I was actually lucky enough to drive the Aston Martin hypercar last week, and seriously fast cars, of course, but they now feel like GT cars. They're quite heavy, and although they're very, very quick in the corners with the aerodynamics, you can see now why a driver like Nielsen, for example, is so fast in both. When they look so different from the outside, the driver is able to kind of copy and paste their styles into it. And of course, racecraft different with the dirty air being worse than a hypercar, but these GT3 cars now so aero dependent, you're kind of getting a similar feel at times.
So down to the chicane here comes 007 Aston Martin, which was up and down the order quite a bit in the earlier session. It's Nicky Tim at the wheel of it at the moment as you look at the midpoint of the Curva Grande. 74 Ferrari is Lorenzo Petresi at the wheel right now.
It's a fair amount just going through all the penalties, just doing some admin here. There's some quite significant ones. For example, Angus Whiteside in the Dynamic GT, the 54 car, they got done for improving their sector time under a yellow flag. And they've actually got a 10-place grid penalty for the race already. So although it's only free practice, the jeopardy follows you hard. And Frederick Schandorf got a penalty for loosening his belts, €1,000 fine and 1 behavioural warning point. So
things like that, somebody of his experience, you wouldn't expect him to do, would you?
It's difficult as a driver. I'm always going to defend. There's different regulations, series to series. Frederick and IMSA, maybe they get away with it a bit more. Maybe it was just a lapse of concentration. Always feel like as you're trying to defend yourself when you're guilty, it's like, well, no one got hurt, right? Slap on the wrist, but €1,000. And you've got to remember that SRO always pull the money up, and at the end of the season, that money is donated to charity. So the numbers are large for the fines, but the cause is good.
True enough. So there, 24 Corvette, Nickel Max still at the wheel of it, going through. And comes down now towards the parabolic, and this is on board with the Mustang once again. Relatively clear road ahead.
There's such an aggressive engine tone in this, and the vibration, it's a V8, but it's a flat plane crank. So the vibration in this car is huge. And they have had some problems, Corvette, with that, but they seem to have got on top of it a brand that's obviously been so successful in American Le Mans Series, now in IMSA at ACO level, and SRO GT3 is getting there, and it was so refreshing to see it at the sharp end this morning, finishing second in FP1, now back up to 7th. Nickel Mack new to the car this weekend, so unsurprisingly getting some more laps. Misses the apex at T1, and maybe time to come in for a tyre pressure adjustment as well. The tyres will be coming up all the time with this high track temp we've got here.
Your best bronze at the moment, Rolf Ineiken's car. And we'd seen Tim Heinemann behind the wheel of it a little earlier. So the Ferrari that Ineiken had a spin in. He's been an experienced GT racer, go back a few years Lamborghinis. Prior to that, he came out of the German Porsche Cup, the Carrera Cup Deutschland. And Rolf Ineiken coming back into the championship this season with the Bio-Circle livery on the side of the car that often adorned Franz Conrad's cars, but up towards the timing line he now comes.
Should he not have the purple flashing light on the rear of that car? Just used to seeing the bronze graded drivers having those purple flashing lights, and it could just be an issue of the team not trying to get them a penalty. That's always such an easy indication for us and the viewer to know it's a bronze graded driver, but it's put there to let the other pros know that is the bronze in the car.
Well, Rolf Ineiken these days is graded silver.
Oh, okay. So that's why. There's credit to him. I thought the bronze graded driver and also the light doesn't have an issue. Good news all round.
Yeah, Thomas Kiefer is their bronze, new to the team this weekend. That's the JMW run Ferrari. And touring car engineer Spencer Aldridge overseeing this from the pit lane. He's got there the McLaren tucked up behind him, has Rolf Ineiken, which is the Optimum car now with Mikey Porter at the wheel.
Yeah, he's hustling on Mikey, very fast young British driver, and Optimum on top of this McLaren got a very fast car underneath them. There's quite a big inter-team McLaren battle it feels brewing at the moment to see who is top dog between those teams. You'd say CSA Garage 59, Optimum up there, but then also RJN knocking on the door, and New Boys Greystone GT involved as well.
This is Marco Mappelli, who has yet to do a lap time. Did Rutronic get a penalty in the earlier session as well? Question mark. Down towards Parabolica he comes then. Stands on the brakes. Big squeak from the brakes. Goes into the corner. That didn't sound healthy to me. Don't expect cars to make that sort of noise, do you?
Sounds like a pre-war car, didn't it, under the brakes? We're talking about this Lambo getting up to speed in its development, and I can't believe that's the right noise the brakes should be making. I've never had a modern GT car make that noise, but straight line performance looks good. Look at this, we can get to 270k, just 268 hard on the brakes. Again, the noise there, so it's obviously not an issue, it's a feature, not a fault. And car going well on the corner well, and Mappelli obviously hugely experienced with the brand, but also here at Monza. And the car balance looking better round after round, but still just so used to their previous generation Huracan always being at the sharp end. We're still adjusting to this new twin-turbo V8 car.
I can't see anything as a penalty for that from the first session, so I think they've just been doing some in and out laps, but they've lost effectively 10 minutes, which sort of tallies with the others.
Yeah, it started the last session, didn't it? Smoking. Do you remember Niederhaus went straight through the second chicane, but it carried on, so again, it seemed to be a feature, not a fault of the car, but yeah, maybe not using as much curb as we're seeing from others, so just trying to get the dampers in the window. There's always a battle with the damper setting, so important as the part of suspension. You want it stiff for performance, but then slightly softer for curb usage. So there's always a play at which end of the scale you go with those dampers.
Rattles it into and out of the Ascari chicane. Marco Mappelli, who's been another loyal servant to the Lamborghini brand over the years. One of a quirky list of European drivers who is a former Australian Formula 3 champion. The Australian Formula 3 championship was never the strongest numerically, but brought some interesting champions through the list. And again, big squeak as he gets to the end of the back straight there.
Sounds like I'm whipping a pig. I can't describe the noise any
Listen,
better.
what you do in your spare time is entirely up to you. I'm not your therapist. You don't have to tell me about it. Mappelli out towards the line. This will be his first flying lap of the session. And where does it put him? Well, not much, really, does that do. 53rd out of 57 cars. So it's a start-up lap, shall we call it, rather than a proper flying lap.
Yeah. You ride on board and it looks okay because we're only looking for 1.4 seconds. That's the gap to pole. And when we brake 6 times a lap, that's losing, what, 2.5 tenths a brake zone. It's nothing. And that's why visually it can look okay, but then when you cross the line, you are nowhere.
There is the Ziggo Sport Tempesta Porsche, which is the returning Jonathan Hui, along with Chris Froggatt and Eddie Cheever this weekend.
And he does have the purple light flashing, indicating the bronze graded driver.
So that's Jonathan Hui, who, apart from racing GT cars, has quite a nice collection of not that old Formula One cars. He's a McLaren fan, for example, and Jonathan Hui, good to have him back in the championship. Chris Froggatt, Eddie Cheever, the other two drivers, and further proof of Porsche's increased numbers here in GT3 this year.
They've become our dominant manufacturer, haven't they? Really sort of taken over from Audi, then from Mercedes, and Hui backing out of this, trying to find some space. And that shows you how good his pace is, that he is getting held up by cars in front of him. It's the Boots and VBS Porsche, isn't it? Which is a great car to follow as an AM. You could always try and find a car that is the same, and you can see what they're doing and then try and copy and paste into real life.
Yeah, one of the Boots and Porsches is in the pit lane, Maurice Schuring's car, and the other, which was Robin Knudsen at the start of the session, has now gone the way of Gilles Magnus. So there, skipping over the curbs, is Jonathan Hui, and that car, as Joe was saying, with a bronze-graded driver, automatically goes into the Bronze Cup, where it's got a good chance of success tomorrow.
It really does, isn't it? Like you said, Froggatt has been fast, been racing well. Cheever, ever adaptable. And yeah, just as we were getting used to calling it the Sky Tempesta Ferrari, it's now gone to Ziggo Sport, and yeah, they've gone across the brands. But I think they've made a pretty clever decision with settling with Porsche for this season.
Josh Rowledge at Paradigm in the blue BMW, the second of the cars out of the Simon Traves, Darren Lung stable. Josh Rowledge making his debut with the team. Another driver that's done good things in McLarens and Ginettas, but coming into GT3. And he'll be one to watch, I think, over the course of the weekend. It's an intriguing driver lineup, that, because there's not only Josh, you've got Christian Hahn, who drove at Paul Ricard, and Bobby Thompson, who most recently has been racing in the British Touring Car Championship when his meagre funds allow. Good driver coach is Bobby, but it's good to have him on the grid, and hopefully this might kickstart a career that people talk about because he's got a lot of talent, but doesn't go anywhere because he hasn't got very much money. There's no family money. Dad's a plumber, so there's not huge budgets to throw at the racing, so it's good that he's found a berth here this weekend.
Yeah, and yeah, I know Josh well, really nice lad, come through the McLaren ranks. We've worked together, and he's going to be very, very quick. And interestingly, could see someone getting in the way from the pit wall saying to come in, so someone's got a radio failure. I don't think it was this Paradigm car, because they're at the start of pit lane. Josh going in a bit deep there, still got the Corvette out there as well of Mikkel Mack, so he's been out there for nearly half an hour, and we'll get to see there a bit of snap of oversteer from the Garage 59 car, the 58 one there, coming out the second chicane. Yeah,
and the Aston behind it having a big slide as well, so we haven't had quite so many trips through the gravel, but you can see that some has been dragged back onto the circuit there over in the Nesmo Benz. Josh Rowledge then going down towards the Ascari chicane and putting to one side, I think, letting the quicker traffic go. So 9.92, 36th in the times at the moment. That is running in silver. The sister car, Darren Lung's car, runs in bronze. Right, Mikkel Mack is still behind the wheel of the Corvette, isn't he? Doing a long run here. This is a 90-minute session. We're nearly at the end of the first third of it, the first half an hour. And it's been calmer than the first session.
Yeah, maybe it was just a bit of morning rage that's been dissipated now. We're in the late afternoon. It's too hot to be angry now, isn't it? It's time, right. It's time for sleeping.
Point time for a gin and tonic. As the session progresses, let us go to the pit lane. Bryn Lucas has found one of the drivers of this car, Fabian Schiller, number 17 Mercedes. Let's hear from Fabian with Bryn.
Well, just off of or back from your great victory at the Nürburgring 24 Hours, and you were throwing the car over the curbs a bit, we're noticing. Is that something you brought over from the Nürburgring? Is that how you get the most out of the car here?
Well, I mean, the two chicanes here in Monza is pretty specific with the curb riding. And no, it looks very spectacular, but in the car it doesn't feel as bad. But yeah, it's obviously two fun parts of the track.
We've dealt with a lot of high temperatures here this weekend, and this one seems to be representative of what it's going to be like tomorrow, midway through the race. Is there any setup change? How do you focus on getting the car ready for what might be changing conditions?
Well, obviously we have free practice 1 this morning and then free practice 2 this afternoon at similar times as tomorrow's program with qualifying and the race. You obviously go through your program and trying to find what's best for the morning, what's better for the afternoon, but so far our car has been running pretty well, and we didn't have to do too many adjustments to match the different conditions. So yeah, so far just going through the program. Max is doing a little bit of a longer run now. I did a little bit of a shorter run at the beginning now. But yeah, we're going through our program and trying to prep as good as possible for tomorrow.
So far P6, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job by Fabian Schiller, who's always a very, very good qualifier. And in terms of curb usage, that's not riding the curbs, that's using them as a ramp. That's a launch.
Yeah, I think Elon Musk will sign him up for a SpaceX project with the air he's getting there. And yeah, I think he probably did a set of new tyres because his first run did 6 laps, 47.0 as his best. Then he boxed, came back out and went 4.5 tenths quicker and only did 3 laps. So not quite enough pace that he would have wanted, but too much, I think, for anything else than new tyres. So yeah, I think as where he is on the timing order as well, that's probably a new tyre run for that car.
There's a yellow flag at Marshall Sector 7, incidentally, which will be... Oh, there it is, car in the gravel.
Razu Porsche, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. So that will be Georgios Kolovos at the wheel. And that's number 9, which is... looks like it stopped in the pit lane.
Yeah, pit exit. It was the opposite than this morning. They got caught doing 80 kilometres an hour, so we get a red flag for this Porsche in pit lane. But yeah, Alex Malikin got done for 80 kilometres an hour in pit lane when it should be 50. So that was a €1,500 fine.